Subscribe to Audio Novels for more content and click on the bell icon. We hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.
Of course, Liu Yang was an honorable man and had no indecent thoughts about the young widow. The woman was like a charming, yet not showy lotus. Wearing a white robe, she stood tall and delicate with bright eyes and white teeth, giving off a transcendental vibe. She also wore a golden bracelet on her right wrist. "Thank you both." The woman's voice was as soothing as a clear spring. Liu Yang noticed something odd and whispered, "Brother Meng, she's not drenched in the heavy rain. Could she be a monster?" In fables, monsters often transformed into beautiful women to seduce young, strong men like them. Liu Yang had been drenched earlier, looking disheveled, but Yunji was completely dry. She didn't appear as if she had just walked in the rain. Meng Jingzhou didn't dwell on it. Perhaps she has some rare treasure that repels rain. It's not uncommon in prestigious families. Meng Jingzhou wasn't worried that Yunji was a monster because they were on Sikh Dao sect's territory. Any monster risking its life to cause trouble here would be eliminated. "Mistress Yunji, have you come to participate in the Sikh Dao sect examination?" "Indeed," Meng Jingzhou warmly suggested. "I happen to have insider information about the Sikh Dao sect exam, acquired at great expense from an elder. Would you like to hear about it?" Liu Yang looked at Meng Jingzhou in surprise. Why hadn't he told him about it? Yunji looked even more surprised. That would be cheating. If the Sikh Dao sect found out, Meng Jingzhou waved his hand, oozing confidence. "This carriage is a magical treasure. Even the most powerful secluded cultivators and ancient creatures cannot probe inside it with their spiritual sense." "I understand. Please tell me the contents of the examination." Upon hearing this, Liu Yang also attentively listened. Meng Jingzhou cleared his throat. The Sikh Dao sect exam consists of 3 parts. The first one tests your spirit root, an inflexible requirement with no tricks or shortcuts possible. The second and third parts are the ones we can strategize for. The second part tests your moral character. A carriage is out of control and headed towards 5 people lying on the roadside. If hit, they will undoubtedly die. There is another person lying not far away. As outsiders, we can manipulate the direction of the carriage. Do we choose to ignore it and let it kill the 5 people, or change course and kill the other person? Without hesitation, Liu Yang answered, "Kill the other person." This puzzled Meng Jingzhou. Ever since he had learnt about the contents of the second part, he couldn't figure out the solution. How could Liu Yang make a decision so swiftly? If they ignored the situation, they would witness 5 deaths, an act that might be justifiable but emotionally unbearable. And if they decided to change directions and kill the other person, the individual would undeniably be unlucky. It would also mean they had a hand in causing the death. Meng Jingzhou voiced his doubts, to which Liu Yang explained, "There isn't enough time to ponder. By the time you come up with a solution, the 5 people would have already been hit. I assume the Sikh Dao sect wants to test whether you choose to save 5 people or 1 person, but rather if you can make quick decisions. I've heard from one of the scholars that in a battle among cultivators, the slightest hesitation can lead to death. The second part is not testing your moral character, but whether you're decisive or not. Making a decision in the shortest possible time is the key." Meng Jingzhou suddenly understood. The third part tests your honesty. The Sikh Dao sect has a mirror that can tell if you're lying. If caught in a lie, you're immediately disqualified. Liu Yang pondered. This section is easy. Without prior knowledge, it's tempting to tell a lie in order to cover up one's shortcomings. But now that we know in advance, we just have to tell the truth. Meng Jingzhou nodded in agreement with his thoughts. The pair discussed for a while, contemplating various possible surprises and strategies. In the end, they felt they had everything covered. Mistress Yunji showed a hint of a smile, seemingly amused by their thorough plans. "Thank you for sharing, young hero Liu." Has the rain stopped?" Liu Yang realized that there was no sound of falling rain outside the carriage. Intrigued, he leaned out to check. The path they had traveled still had torrential rain pouring, while their current location was bathed in sunlight, alive with the sound of birds and the scent of flowers. It was as if an unrivaled sword qi had divided the world into 2 halves, yin and yang, that would never intersect. Looking up, Lu Yang saw numerous exotic beasts and magical artifacts rushing toward a colossal mountain that reached the sky. The towering mountain was bathed in sunlight, turning a faint gold color. A glorious pattern spread from the mountain, covering the sky and blocking the rain. This was the entrance to the Sikh Tao sect, protected by an unbreakable array. Out of respect for the Sikh Tao sect, prodigies, under the guidance of their elders, landed at the foot of the mountain to await the commencement of the examination. The old horse was already an uncommon mutant demon beast. But compared to those exotic beasts resting at the foot of the mountain, it still fell a little short. Ah, this is way grander than our Meng family's estate. Meng Jingzhou rubbed his hands together, feeling a bit anxious. Thinking about how he would soon become a member of the Sikh Tao sect, he felt more excited than nervous. Lu Yang remained silent. He had seen this mountain from home. It hadn't seemed significant from afar, but standing at its foot, he realized the sheer enormity of it. He, too, felt nervous. They could figure out the second and third parts, but he didn't know what his spirit route was yet. He might not even be able to get past the first hurdle. About a dozen cultivators were levitating in front, all emanating a strong aura. Lu Yang suspected that if they fully released their aura, probably few could even stand in their presence. The cultivators didn't say a word, exuding a psychological pressure just by their presence. Lu Yang heard one of the clan leaders introduced to the younger generations. Judging by their robes, these are the core disciples of the Sikh Tao sect, disciples of the various elders, your future seniors. Don't be nervous. They're not intentionally pressuring you. It seems they're waiting for the person who will conduct the examination. Once the conductor is here, the examination will begin. Lu Yang turned his head, wanting to see Yunji's reaction, whether she was excited or anxious. She couldn't possibly remain indifferent, could she? Mistress Yunji, you. Just as Lu Yang was about to say something, Yunji began to stride forward. Before each step hit the ground, a white lotus would rise to support her slender frame. This caused a commotion, and the family leaders broke out in a cold sweat, quickly instructing their juniors to stay quiet. A path of white lotuses unfolded, cutting across the crowd. Yunji positioned herself amidst the Sikh Tao sect disciples, who bowed to her in a sign of respect. Yunji raised her hand, then turned around to face the crowd, giving a faint smile. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. I am the eldest senior sister of the Sikh Tao sect and the conductor of this examination. I hereby announce that the examination begins now. With that said, Yunji looked at a stunned Lu Yang and Meng Jingzhou with an amused smile. Indeed, she had come to participate in the Sikh Tao sect examination, but not as an examiner, rather as the examiner.